Before the days of the MCU and the DCU, The Crow was one of the first major superhero films that really spoke to audiences. Directed by Alex Proyas, the 1994 film was based on James O'Barr's 1989 graphic novel with the same name. Brandon Lee, the son of Bruce Lee, and a martial artist himself, beat out more established actors like River Phoenix and Christian Slater for the role of undead Avenger Eric Draven. But on March 31st, 1993, tragedy struck while Lee was filming the scene where his character is killed. He was fatally wounded because the gun was actually loaded with dummy cartridges rather than blank rounds as planned. Lee died only days before the end of the film's production, and the producers made the difficult decision to finish the movie with the stunt double and digital effects. Fun fact, the stunt double is Chad Stahelski, who directed and created the John Wick universe, and was also in Matrix 4 as a fake husband for Trinity. I don't think anyone ever really knew that, but yeah, Chad Stahelski, the creator of John Wick, was Brandon Lee's double in The Crow. So, anyways, The Crow was first a critical and box office hit, then a cult classic. The darkly surreal world shot entirely on set creates an alternate reality dystopia where anything, even a man resurrected by a crow, takes revenge on the gang that killed him and his fiancée. But what truly balances the film is a torrent of emotion, particularly pain and loss, that runs underneath. Lee's performance is physical and visceral. The movie would have made him a star. Instead, when Draven is shot and killed, we shudder uneasily with the knowledge of how closely the character's death mimics the actor's. Despite the film's success, none of the three sequels or even the TV show captured Lee's charisma or the dark beauty and sorrow of the 1984 film. Producers have been trying to get a Crow reboot off the ground for years, with multiple actors coming and going from the lead role, and now looks like they're finally succeeding. Here's what we know about the new Crow movie so far. I believe I mentioned this in a video about The Crow, but for those of you who don't know, Bill Skarsgård is going to be playing Eric Draven, and a fun fact, before Bill Skarsgård was even casted as Eric Draven, we had other people that were, being eyed for the role, like, over the years at least, like Mark Wahlberg, Bradley Cooper, Channing Tatum, Ryan Gosling, James McAvoy, Tom Hiddleston, Luke Evans, Sam Witter, Jack Huston, Nicholas Hoult, Jack O'Connell, Jason Momoa, and even Bill's brother Alexander. They even had Jason Momoa photographed in makeup as Eric Draven with some stunning results, but honestly, Bill Skarsgård fits the role of Eric Draven more than anyone. Maybe Alexander, but I just don't see Alexander playing Eric Draven. It doesn't seem to be his kind of role. As far as other acting roles, we have FKA Twigs, who will be playing Eric's fiancée Shelley, and we also have before they casted Twigs for Shelley, they had other people like Kristen Stewart and Jessica Brown Findlay, so there's that. We also have Danny Hudson from Game Night in the cast, but we don't know who he's gonna play. He might be playing the person who got Eric killed. We also have Isabella Way for the role of Zadie. I forgot who she is. We also have Forrest Whitaker. Well, they were previously attached to the role. Forrest Whitaker, Andrea Riseborough, and Norma Reedus. With Riseborough playing the female version of Top Dollar, and Reedus playing a character known as James. So there's that. This was a question I had for the movie, because, normally with reboots and remakes, they usually redo the whole movie, but add some, little magical touches to it, and, this is a bit hard to do, because, in the graphic novel and the movie, Eric Draven and his fiancée Shelley are attacked by a gang, and Shelley is, non-consensually touched, and they're both killed, but then Eric is resurrected by a mysterious crow, and given mysterious powers to seek revenge against the men who killed him and his fiancée. So while the new movie has been touted as a modern reimagining of the character and story, it'll most likely recreate the central events of the 1994 film and the graphic novel. So, will there be more, though? I'm sure the movie didn't take everything from the graphic novel, but then again, I didn't read the graphic novel, so I guess I wouldn't know. This part of the article is a bit long, so buckle up while I try doing this in one breath or something like that. In 2008, Stephen Northington, these names are so hard to pronounce, I swear, was the first of many filmmakers announced to write and direct the Crow reboot, with Relativity Media behind the film's rights and financing. Musician Nick Cave later was brought in to rewrite the script. After Norrington left the project in early 2011, Juan Carlos Fresnadillo, from the, I guess he made 28 weeks later, and F. Javier Gutierrez, Rings, were considered to helm the project, with the former ultimately landing the gig. The film was plagued with more production problems, including a legal battle between Relativity and the Weinstein Company, who at the time still had worldwide distribution rights to the franchise. Alright, anyways. During this time, Alex Tassi, Watchmen, was brought in to write the screenplay. In October 2011, Fresnadillo left the project, with Gutierrez stepping in a few months later, with Jesse Whitglow, it runs in the family, set to write a new draft of the screenplay. Not long after that, Cliff Dorfman, Warrior, was brought in to do a page one rewrite for the reboot. In July 2014, Gutierrez dropped out of the film due to scheduling conflicts with filming for the horror sequel Rings. Later that year, James O'Barr announced that he would be co-writing the screenplay alongside Dorfman, and Corin Hardy, the nun, was brought in to direct the film. Production came to a halt in 2015 after Relativity Media filed for bankruptcy. Hardy remained attached to the project until 2016, when he was briefly given the boot, only to be brought back a few months later. In 2018, when he was departed due to creative differences. Finally, in 2022, it was announced that Zach Baylin, King Richard, would pen the script, with Rupert Sanders, Snow White and the Huntsman, directing the film. Attached to produce the film are Molly Hassel, Braven, Victor Hadidla, Resident Evil, oh no, John Jenkins, Guns Akimbo, Malcolm Gray, 21 Bridges, and original Crow producer Edward R. Pressman. Filmmakers shopped international distributing rights to the film at the 2022 Cannes Film Festival before location filming began in Prague on July 13, 2022. Over 10 weeks in the summer of 2022, The Crow was filmed across numerous locations in the capital city, including a major set-piece shot at Prague's Rudolphineum Concert Hall with hundreds of extras. After filming wrapped on September 16, 2022, the movie entered virtual production at Pessing Studios in Germany, and eventually wrapped in October 2022. Whew, that was a lot of reading. I've never done that much reading in my life, except for when I reread Into the Wild for like the 42nd time. I have a problem. Anyways, I combine these two together because it's gonna wrap it up anyway. When can audiences watch The Crow? There are a lot of rumors about the film's release date, but there's nothing official yet. The most reliable word is that the movie will be released in the first months of 2024, which is next year, but some believe it won't come out until September of that year. As for the next question, which is there a trailer for the reboot? There is no trailer. And since the film is still without a distributor, it will likely be some time before we even get one. So, oh my god, that put me out of breath so hard. Anyways, that's everything we know about the Crow reboot. We know who's going to be in it, who's directing it. We already know that they finished writing production. I mentioned that in a video a very long time ago, like, you know, when it was happening. We don't know when the trailer will come out because we don't have anyone who's going to distribute the movie. We don't know when it'll come out. It might come out next year. These things take time because they wrapped filming in 2022. I assume they have a shit ton of editing to do because we're in 2023 now. Most likely it might come out in 2024 because, you know, hold on a minute just to be sure. Avatar 3 comes out next year. So I'm just saying, you know, that's a big year for us if Avatar and the Crow reboot come out in 2024. So, thank you for watching. Tomorrow's video, because I know I gotta touch on this eventually, because y'all know how much I love Evil Dead. So we're gonna finally talk about the musical.
Don't look, the shadows free, whispering me away from